Today we've got another van repair video. I feel like I haven't really done too many of these since I got the new van. I've had it a little over a year now, and well, it's been pretty reliable. Aside from installing the lift and the wireless remotes and all that stuff, I really haven't had to do much to it. But the driver's side power window broke. So this video is going to be about repairing that. Turns out this van's new enough that they used one of the power window systems that I absolutely hate. But yeah, enjoy. So apparently the window broke. Well, not the glass, but something with the mechanism. I rolled it down and I heard a weird noise. I thought maybe it was just this rubber, because sometimes that flips inside out. But then I went to roll it back up, heard another noise, and then after it was up for a few seconds, it just dropped down. So I don't think the glass broke, but I don't remember on these Fords if there is plastic pieces. I don't think there are. If I recall, I believe there's rivets that sometimes come loose that we should be able to replace with bolts. But anyways, I'm gonna get back and we have to at least get the window in the up position and zip tie it in place if I can't fix it, because rain and stuff. Yeah, just came to pick up the mail. Okay, trying to get the shadows. There we go. Unexpected repair on the van. I'm using this light. I don't think it flickers. Okay, when it's on high power, it doesn't seem to flicker. It's one of these great big long things, but yeah, getting ready to take the door panel off here and see what happened to the window. One more screw, then it'll have it off. Yeah, well, looky there. This thing has never been worked on. You can tell because this plastic is still in pristine condition. I did have this door panel off once though, because I was looking at changing out these speakers. But yeah, let's peel this back. Our access hole is going to be right here. It's usually best to get a hairdryer and sort of heat up this glue. I'm kind of tearing this just a little bit, but I can just put it back on here with some gaff tape and we should be good. Oh boy. Oh, let's go down here. Uh-oh. Is this a cable drive? I can't quite remember what year Ford switched over to the cable-driven windows. This one here is for the door latch, but I think this one here is part of our regulator. Yeah, dang, it is cable drive. That means there's plastic stuff in here that probably broke. All right, hang on, let me get this off. Okay, I may not want to mess with this right now. I'm probably just going to zip tie the window in the up position. You can see our cable here has come off, which means there's a little plastic guide that probably broke. So I'm just going to zip tie this in an up position, and then we're going to deal with it later, I think. That's annoying. Okay, after much screwing around, I think I can fix this without replacing parts. I have to remove the cable drive motor though. And of course, this is Ford, so everything is riveted in place. So I'm gonna have to grab the drill and we gotta drill out a few rivets here. Like this one, that one, this one, right there. They do have hooks though, so after you drill them out, it kind of sits in place. But I think what happened was one of the cable retention clips basically broke or came loose. I'm going to try and pull this out of here. I might be able to epoxy it in place. We'll see. It's not supposed to rain in the next couple of hours, so we will see. This gets annoying in a hurry, especially when you're trying not to break the glass. Okay, this is, that was a lot of rivets to drill out. I think at this point, though, we can remove the glass. Oh, wait, no. I can't remove the glass. Well, I'll explain in a little bit. I'm going to try and get the regulator and motor out. It's all in one piece. Okay, that was annoying. I do in fact have the window regulator out though.
they had rivets through the glass holding it to this carriage assembly. While this does technically work, there's a lot of little plastic pieces that are broken. Like right here, see how this piece kind of doesn't really stay in place? If I hit the switch, it'll go up and down. But what happened was the little clip that holds this piece in broke. So this doesn't stay put anymore. And then also down here where the little end of the cable hooks in, there's another piece that broke there. And I'm looking at this, there's cracks everywhere. So we're gonna need a new window regulator. I think for now, I'm just gonna put some zip ties through the bracket on the window, get a bunch of those in there so it's held in the up position. And I'm just gonna leave the door panel off for now. I'm gonna see how much these things are. But when you put everything back together, you don't use rivets. I've got some assorted hardware here I can use, but a lot of these things are sold at auto parts stores with kits that come with all the hardware. So if this ever has to be done again in the future, yeah. I guess the driver's door probably does get used more than the passenger. I'm starting to think now about what's going on inside the passenger door. But yeah, so I've been out here about 3 hours now. I'm ready to get out of the van, so I'm going to clean up my tools, go inside, wash up, and then we'll figure out how much these things cost. But yeah, it's basically this thing here. It's got the motor attached. There's some spring-loaded thingy bobs. Yeah, I don't know. I'll see what parts are available online. I might be able to get replacement pieces. I know I've got a friend with a BMW X5, and I know they make conversion kits for those because they have some of the similar issues on those. But anyways, enough yapping. Let's go inside. And there we go. A couple zip ties running through the mechanism in there, holding the window up. We're going to call that good for now. Yeah. All right, let's finish vacuuming up all the metal shavings and stuff in here. Yuck. We have a package. And this one conveniently has a note attached to it. I do believe they want me to renew my mailbox. Is due to be renewed, blah, 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 blah. So I should probably take care of that. But here we have a package from someone. What do we got here? Wait, what? This says heated gloves. Is that a thing? Should probably open it before I get too excited. What? They're electric gloves. A gift. Nice. Okay, this is cool. So we got some cables, power adapter, oh, a couple of batteries. Oh, they're USB-C. This is cool. Oh, yes. 3M. These are like the heaviest things ever. And there's a clicky button. Dude, this is like fantastic. I don't know if we're getting any snow here this year, but I'm still trying to take a road trip to a friend's place that is in a much colder climate. I don't know if it'll happen at any point soon, but let's see here. Quick operation guide. Press and hold for 3 seconds until light flashes. Preheating mode. Oh. There we go. Now they're preheating. This is sweet. So 2 hours at high, 4 hours at medium, 8 hours at low. And you just press this to switch between the modes. That's awesome. Dude, thank you. Wait, where are you from? Let's look at the address on this. I'm not gonna say, I just checked the address. You're from a place where it gets cold.
like legitimately. These are going to be great for, oh, and they've got a non-skid thing in the middle there too. Which, by the way, those other gloves that someone sent me recently, they work really well on the bounder for the grippiness for the joystick, but these are also nice and grippy. All right, cool. Turn these off. All right, cool. I'm gonna get these charged up and play around with them. Thanks a lot, appreciate it. Well, look what just showed up. In theory, this is our new window regulator assembly. What I'm curious about is if it came with any of the hardware, seeing as how everything was attached with rivets. There's a box inside this box. Professional for auto parts. All right, let's see what we got here. It appears, though, it's just a regulator and a motor. It's got grease on it. Huh, well that's fun. No hardware whatsoever. Yeah, that's not really helpful. So, I guess I'm gonna have to dig through my hardware stash and find some appropriate sized bolts. It came with snacks. Sweet. Looks like this, oh, they did change something. Ah, looky here. We've got an actual, like, pivot here. Ah, okay. So, this one has an actual, like, round pivot, and the plastic piece goes over both sides. It doesn't just clip through. Yeah, so you've got a rivet there, and, well, not really a bearing, but it rotates. If we compare that to the other one, as seen here, this thing just clips on with little bits of plastic and hopes and dreams, and the cable just kind of slides there. So, the new one is slightly improved. That's a bonus. Let's see, is the bottom different? Okay, so the bottom appears to be exactly the same. Yeah, see those little clippy deals? And there's a little itty-bitty tab right there. That's what breaks off constantly. And it looks like the rest of this mechanism is the same. I'm gonna go through all my hardware and find some bolts. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 bolts of some sort of size with a bunch of washers. Might actually have to go to the hardware store. Well, anyways, I'm gonna get some stuff together, then we'll reconvene in the van. All right, so I went and spent $20 on hardware. We got basically all of the 1/4-20 bolts that exist. I got them in a couple of sizes. We got the 1/2-inch ones and the 3/4-inch ones. And then I also got a bunch of washers, regular nuts, and also some nylocks. I think the way we're gonna do this is by running the bolts through with a washer and then a nylock. I think at this point, all I have to do is jam this contraption in the door, put some bolts on, and then, yeah. Well, the new hooks on this are not very good. That's definitely not gonna hold anything in place. Oh. I just realized I stuck it in backwards. Whoops. Back out it comes. It goes like this. These bolts here on the top, which are all blown out because the sky's in the background, those go on the top. So, let's try that again. I'm going to stick one bolt in for right now just to hold this motor in place so it doesn't keep falling down inside the door. For some reason, my hands are covered in grease now. Well, that's what I was trying to prevent. Okay, now our motor will stay put. Gross. These zip ties are going through the holes that I need to mount this in, but it's also holding the glass. So let's get rid of these. I'm holding the glass with one hand. Oh, this is obnoxious. All right, I'm gonna try and hold the glass with one hand and then slip these through the bolt holes. Oh, there we go. Not quite sure what I did differently that time, but it went right in there. Let's see, where did I put my hardware at? Probably should have gotten my tools ready first. Okay, we'll get those pretty close, not completely tight because the bottom still has to be aligned. We got to add some bolts to that. Okay. Then, if we're sneaky, we can lower the glass down so it's at least sitting in the bracket. And it should stay there. Okay, there we go. Be very carefuling. Oh, okay, we got two of them in there. I'm gonna have to fish out now. I'm gonna put these from the inside out. There we go. Gross. Okay, get our second bolt in here. Oh, can I even reach that one? I don't think I can get my hand over there. Dang it. Okay, well, I'm gonna do some screwing around. I'll be back. Okay, we had to harness the power of magnets. Thank you, by the way, for sending this. Also, I keep forgetting that I have this magnetic tray that the same person sent me. So we got all the hardware and everything in there now. So that can just basically sit right there. And I had to pass the magnet in this way, stick my arm down there to grab this end of it, then put my other hand around and sort of stick the bolt on the end of this. So it was sticking out like that. And then I was able to get it through the hole. But then there's absolutely no way to get back in there with this crescent wrench. So I just used a regular nut there and tightened it down good and tight. Which reminds me, one thing I forgot to buy at the hardware store was Loctite. Got some around somewhere, but I haven't seen it recently, so I think we'll be all right. Now, we're going to attach these three bolts here. And I'm pretty sure I can easily get to these two. So I will use the Nylox on these. This is a longer one here, so we'll swap that out for a 1/4 inch bolt instead of a 1/2 inch. Or however math works on the length difference of those. But yeah, we'll get these installed now. Then, actually, you know what? I think before we go any further, I should probably get the bolts that hold the glass in. To get this loose, I had to bend this tab a little bit, so I think I'm gonna get the glass attached right now so we know that's secure, because I don't want to break that. Yeah. Okay, we got one of the bolts in here. I deemed washers weren't necessary, because with the washer we didn't quite have as many threads as I want. But now we have to lower this down so that we can get to the other access hole here. There we go. And then, actually a little more. There we go. Now I can reach around through there and get the other bolt in. Okay, same story there. I had to use just a regular nut. There's no way I could get around to the back side of that. Had to use the magnet again to get that bolt through the hole. But I think now we're doing pretty good. Put the window up all the way, then back it down just a tiny bit. And now we're going to tighten down these two. Oop, all blown out. We're going to tighten down these two. Then we're going to move on to getting the motor. Actually, I guess I can just tighten these down. All right, those are good. 3 more bolts and we are done. Yay! Okay, all the bolts are in. I'm gonna run this up and down a couple of times. I fired up the engine so we have the proper voltage. I just want to make sure that everything is gonna clear. Yeah, looks like we're good there. So this motor is definitely a lot louder than the other one. That seems to work. All right, cool. Let's get the door panel put back on. Actually, I think I'm gonna take a break and get some food. Then we will continue this. Okay, before we can do too much else, we have to get this plastic back on here. I grabbed a hairdryer. The glue on this actually responds very well to being heated up, and it'll kind of get tacky again. So let's see if we can get this lined up and back on here. There's a few sections that I tore. I might have to tape some of that, but I think we should be pretty close to all right. Okay, looks like everything's lined up, so let's get some heat on this. All right, I think we're actually pretty good here. There are a few tears in this. The idea here is to keep the moisture and stuff that is inside the door, since these seals aren't perfect, out of the inside. So even if there's a few little tears, that's okay. But yeah, I think we're in pretty good shape. I'm gonna get the speaker reinstalled now. Yeah, the speaker kind of holds on some of the plastic over here too. So, oh, whoops. Ran that through the wrong hole. Should be one more here. Ah, there it is. All right, let's make sure that works real quick. All right, we are good. I think at this point, we already put the door panel on. Dang it. Door panel's in the garage. I keep having to get back and forth in and out of my chair. I can only do that so many times. Oh, by the way, life hack. Hand sanitizer actually makes a very, very good degreaser. So all the filth that's on my hands from the grease on that track, yeah, all good. Napa Auto Parts sells this stuff. It's not an aerosol, it's actually a pump can. But yeah, it's like $3 or something for a can of this, so super handy to have around. Suppose we could double check and make sure the window still works. Sounds like it's struggling a little bit going up, but the battery in this van is not very good and the engine's not running. Plus I've cycled the lift a few times. So we'll have to swap the battery out in this thing sooner than later, I think. I just realized there are 4 bolts down inside the door that I have to get out of there. So we'll use the magnet for that. We've got a little access hatch right here. Okay, I've got 2 of them, as well as a bunch of metal shavings and some other stuff. I made sure I counted as I was dropping them in there so I could know how many to get back out, because those are going to rattle around and be obnoxious. Oh, there it is. All right, I was just about to say, if the magnet can't pick it up, that means it probably won't rattle around, but I'm glad I found it. Ugh, look at all that garbage on there. That's lovely. Okay, at this point, I'm going to fire up the van and move it over that way about 6 feet, because it's a lot easier to install a door panel from the outside on these vans, because you have to have the door open anyways. Plus, I don't have the energy to get back out of my chair and back up into it again today, or at least for another 8 hours. So we're going to move this thing over so I've got room to get over next to it, use the steel elevator, and we'll install the door panel. Now, Ford door panels are pretty easy to install. They just have a series of these hooks that just basically sit in place on the door itself. And then there's, I think, 3 or 4 screws to hold everything in. So pretty much all you do is feed your switch controls through this hole. There we go. And then line up the door lock up here with the hole.
then there we go. It slides down into place. Make sure our lock is working. And then there's a series of Phillips screws that hold everything in. There's one on this bottom corner here. There's normally a little plug in this corner that comes out. I just leave it out because the door panels come off and on all the time. I'm going to be taking this back off again when I replace the speakers. All right, and there's a couple more up here. And then, so we've got that, and then there's always one that I forget somewhere. Oh, it's up here. Seat elevator. And this one goes up here just off camera. Oh, just found the other one. Thank you, seat elevator. It's behind this panel. There's another hole back here. Careful not to drop it, because the door panel has to come all the way back off to get to it. There we go. And then this just hooks on one side and clips down in place. Like that. And then there's one other panel that goes right here. I think it's over there. I'll have to grab that. Actually, I lied. There's two more parts, but I can't get to them, so I have to use the grabber stick. When the lift's out, I can't get to the passenger side floor. Alright, thank you, grabber stick. And then this, you just pull the door handle and slide it in here. Clips on just like that. And this top piece up here is fairly similar. It just slots in, push down. Hang on, seat elevator. This just hooks on the bottom here, and then there's one spring-loaded clip. And there we go. It's done. We have a working window now. All right, let's give it a whirl. Power window. Well, that glass is filthy. I'm gonna have to clean that. It's got greasy fingerprints all over it for some reason. And there we go. Aside from cleaning the smudges off the window, we are finished. Got the door panel back on and everything. Still got the stains on the carpet that came with the van. But yeah, window that's power. Sometimes. Most of the time. At least until it breaks again. Real quick, we're going to take apart this old window regulator. I want to know how the cable drive works. I'm assuming that there's a little spindle in here, and it's got sort of like worm drive threads or something, and the cable just goes wee around that or something. But we're going to pop this cover off real quick. I want to see how it works. Yeah, well, what do you know? It's exactly like I thought. It's got a whole bunch of winds of cable around a spool. And it looks like that spool is starting to come apart. See that little piece of plastic right there? It's coming loose. Oh! The cable's in more than one piece. Ah, okay. So, wait. Now I'm confused. Oh, so the cable doesn't ever slide off the end of this thing. It's, there's enough winds here to accommodate the entire travel of this mechanism. Interesting. Huh, well there you go. Inside of a cable drive on a Ford van. I'm sure most of the other vehicles are pretty similar. Oh. We've got this handy little motor now. Methinks we should save this for future applications. Looks like a pretty basic worm drive. Yeah, cool. Well, I'll file that in the parts bin and we can throw away the rest of this. Or recycle it or whatever you're supposed to do. Probably hang on to these screws though, just because they're so weird. I'm not gonna lie. I would have preferred to do a transmission swap on this van. This was not very easy. Mostly drilling out all the rivets and drilling out rivets that go through glass.
Not a fan of that. I think we're into this like 4.5 hours now. I've swapped transmissions on a similar van before in like 90 minutes. So, the reason I say transmissions is because in a van you can get to all the bell housing bolts. You pull the doghouse off and they're all right there. On any other vehicle, those bolts are obscured by the firewall. But anyways, yeah, this was annoying. It wasn't difficult, just annoying. So if a shop wants to charge you, gosh, how much would this job be? I could easily, with parts, see this being between $600 and $800 for a window. But yeah, there you go. Things fixed now, and now I know I should probably get another one of these and have a handy for when the passenger side window breaks. And they did make some improvements, which is always a good thing. It's been a few hours since we finished fixing the van. I've been editing the video and stuff. Getting back out of my chair was not a good idea. That took a serious amount of work. And there you go. I think that'll do it for today. We got the van working. I think that was about 4 or 5 days total, something like that. Most of it was waiting for parts, but yeah, always nice to save some money. Oh, that regulator was about 80 bucks. You can get cheaper ones for around maybe $45 or so, but they're like direct OEM replacements that don't have the improvements. So if you do buy one of those at a parts store and it's like 40 bucks, make sure you look at it and see if they've changed anything. I mean, this one did last like 97,000 miles or something like that. But yeah, it's always good to get slightly newer parts that have been revised so that they last a little bit longer, or maybe don't have the same problems. Anyways, I'll see you guys in a few days. Thanks for watching.